Hello, it's me, NiXiE. Welcome to another episode of Ramble with NiXiE. Together, we are going to see how many times I can say my name, NiXiE, in one episode. And I can already say that this is going to be a really good video. Okay, I'll be serious now. The video is titled Experimenting with Different Light Sources and Placement, and that's exactly what I did. Kinda. I say kinda because if you don't already know me, I did not do any kind of research about this. Nor did I use any references. Why? Because I'm NiXiE, and I once again forgot to make things easier for me by getting one little reference. These three line arts are drawn in a small piece of paper I found lying around. I think I was cutting a watercolor paper into a square shape, and this was the excess. I just cut it in three. The first drawing is of a boy that's lighting his cigarette. The idea was the light is coming from his lighter, that is non-visible. I definitely failed this one because I forgot that was what I was going to do. So it turned out more like the light was just reflecting a little bit on his face. But then again, it might have probably worked if I just turned everything dark besides the glow of the fire. But I was too caught up with leaving the background white because that was my initial plan for the three drawings. Which is ridiculous now that I realize my fault. If I'm experimenting with lighting, then it's better to have at least a plain black background than a blank background. You'll see that mistake in all three of this. I should just call this series Fail with NiXiE. And not only was I too caught up with the blank background, but I was also so into using earthy colors for this drawing. I know I always use bright and saturated colors. I love them, but I just really wanted to turn it down a little bit. And I almost wanted to beat myself up because this small painting took longer than it should have, because I did not know what exactly the earthy colors are. I kept staring at my palette, debating if it's an earthy color or not. I realized that my Holbein set did not have a lot of earthy colors. Maybe it did, and I just really do not have an idea. Classic move. By the way, I've been told that I sound so robotic or so rehearsed when I'm doing videos like this, and like I'm reading from a script, because that's totally true. True? That's totally true. I am reading from a script, because if I just try and talk about things like this from my head, it's gonna sound exactly like this. It's gonna sound so choppy, and I won't probably make sense because obviously English is not my first language. So yeah, please forgive me if I do sound like a rehearsed person talking. I've always been fascinated with bright neon lights, and I knew I was going to try that out here. I think I've done it already in one of my videos, the masking fluid video, but never really did it again after that. But I always wanna quote unquote perfect it. I just love the way two contrasting lights cast on a person's face, and I've been noticing it a lot in a bunch of movies or TV series nowadays. I just find it really aesthetic. I know it's not exactly neon lights, but rather multicolored spotlights or studio lights, but I just called it neon because the colors are pretty neon. And I know it's been like a thing in photography. They usually use red and blue lights. But yet again, I did not use a reference photo for this. All I know is that I wanted the pink light casting from southwest of the boy here, and a blue light from northeast. Lastly, I wanted the light in this one casting from behind the girl, so that her front is completely in the dark and the light was just outlining her silhouette. This would have been more noticeable if this wasn't such a small drawing. I also, for the first time, colored the shadow first. I used Holbein Watercolor Mineral Violet, which is the color I often use for the shadow. And after that, I just put a layer of her colors on top of it. The colors are, of course, her skin tone and her jeans. I left her tank top alone because I imagined it would be white. And barely colored her hair because the hair, as we all know it, consists of very thin thread-like strands. And in this case, her hair is flowing to the side. It's not one big mass of hair because of the wind. And the light is flashing hard from behind, so the tendency is that the light will completely envelop her hair strands. Again, this would have been nicer had I not left the background blank and made the illustration bigger. But then again, everything is not really planned perfectly, and if you last this long in the video, I love you. Thank you so much, and I will see you again in my next rambling failing video.